my doctors mentioned that, it won't be easy and there might be a chance of 15 to 20% of death. 2019 was the time when I was really sick. June se lekar August tak I was in hospital and my body started swelling up. Suddenly the doctors just rushed into the room. They got the diagnosis. He looks like you have stage 4 subcutaneous panniculitis T-cell lymphoma. And I was like, what is that? She's like, it's a rare type of blood cancer. After second chemo, I started having those headaches because I had long hair and I didn't want to cut off my hair because I belonged to a sick family, shaved my head. My dad couldn't see it, so he went inside. He shaved his head too. I was in so much of pain that I couldn't do anything. I can't see from my right eye. It's like partial vision. I used to get injections on my right eye every week along with chemotherapy.
कहीं ऐसा लगा उम्मीद मेरी खो ना जाए कहीं?
नहीं चाहेगा कि आपकी फैमिली में किसी को भी कैंसर हो.
My family doctor said that that's important. We should go for a stem cell transplant. My brother was my 100% match. Got this second life because of them, because of my brother.
लोग जो हैं इसके बारे में बात नहीं करना चाहते.
In our community, a lot of people think that cancer is a death sentence. I am a living proof in front of everyone that, I survived the battle. I was stage 4. And when people talk about stage 4, they always see, okay, stage 4, she or he might not survive.
ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਰੈਜ਼ਿਲੀਅੰਸ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ. ਸਬਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੋਲ ਅਦਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਇਹ ਆਉਂਦਿਆਂ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੱਥ ਵੱਸ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਕੁਝ ਕੁ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹੀ ਨੇ. ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਅਸੀਂ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਸੁਪਰੀਮ ਦੀ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ. ਸਾਡੇ ਪਲਾਨਸ ਧਰੇ ਧਰਾਏ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਾ ਪਲਾਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ. ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਆਫ ਰੈਜ਼ਿਲੀਅੰਸ ਐਂਡ ਹੋਪ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਹੋਣੀ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੰਸ਼ੁਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਦੇ ਹਸਬੈਂਡ ਨੇ. ਹਰਜੀਤ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਕੈਂਸਰ ਸਰਵਾਈਵਰ ਔਰ ਸਟੇਜ 4 ਕੈਂਸਰ ਸਰਵਾਈਵਰ ਨੇ. ਇਹ ਇਨੀ ਦਿਨੀ ਐਡਵੋਕੇਟ ਨੇ to raise awareness about cancer and people who go through treatments and ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ. ਸੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਹੋਣਾ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਉਦੋਂ things were different. Now she has become an advocate and she is active with lots of support groups and organizations these days. ਜਾਣਾਂਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਕਿ ਇੰਨੀ resilience ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆਈ. ਵੈਲਕਮ ਹਰਜੀਤ.
Thank you, Gurpreet. Thank you for inviting us.
You're a fighter, you're a thriver, and now you're a survivor.
Yeah, it's 4.5 years now. So counting 5 years next year, hopefully.
How do you see this journey?
Journey itni achhi nahi thi. Journey was really tough. Me and my husband, we moved to Canada in 2018. And, हम 2018 में आए थे of dreaming of, having a good life, having a good career, having a family. But I think God has different plans for us. 2019 was the time when I was really sick. मेरे को fevers start हुए. And they were high fevers ranging from 38 to 40, 41 degrees Celsius. And it just started with fever and 1 week went by और उस टाइम पे हम एडमिंटन में थे और हमारी फैमिली डॉक्टर थी एंड ही वाज रियली नाइस. एंड एज वी ऑल नो कि हम सोचते हैं कि हम इस कंट्री में जा रहे हैं और यहाँ का पब्लिक हेल्थ सिस्टम फ्री है, सब फ्री है, हमें किसी चीज़ की ज़रूरत नहीं है. बट लकीली आई हैड अ वेरी गुड फैमिली डॉक्टर हु सपोर्टेड अस. एंड हफ्ता हो गया फीवर्स जा नहीं रहे थे एंड एवरीबडी वाज लाइक कि फ्लू है या वायरल है, सो इट विल गो अपने आप. We like, okay, fine, medicines lee, Tylenol lee, and I was at home. I was working with Edmonton Chamber of Commerce that time, and he was also working. So I was at home, and it was too much for us to, see कि मेरे को high fevers होते थे. I used to get chills every time. Weeks passed by, but no response. कि क्यों है fevers? And we fought hard. Like he fought really hard. We wanted to get answers. हमें answers चाहिए थे कि ये fever क्यों आ रहे हैं. But as we all know, the health system over here is really delayed, right? हमें emergency जाना पड़ता था. I used to wait in emergency for 6-7 hours to get into the room, and every time I was told the same thing. It's just fevers. Go home, take Tylenol. तो इससे ना बहुत ज़्यादा हमें परेशानियाँ हो गई थी क्योंकि इरिटेशन हो रही थी, समझ नहीं आ रहा था, बहुत ज़्यादा ओवरवेलमिंग हो गया था इसके लिए, अंशुल के लिए, टू कम होम एंड टू चेक ऑन मी. आई वाज एट होम, आई यूज्ड टू गेट फीवर्स, खाना मुश्किल हो गया था. तो धीरे धीरे करके आवर फैमिली डॉक्टर एक्चुअली इंसिस्टेड कि मैं इन्फेक्शियस डिजीज़ स्पेशलिस्ट को रेफ़र करती हूँ, which was again in Edmonton. So we went there to see him, and he mentioned the same thing कि Harjeet, it looks like viral or a flu. कई बार ये 2 महीने भी ले लेते हैं, 3 महीने भी ले लेते हैं, और ऑलमोस्ट 1 महीना हो चुका था मेरे फीवर्स को. एंड he advocated a lot कि we need to get the CT scan, we need to get the MRI, हमें कोई और extensive test या scan कराना है. They didn't agree to it, but we pushed really hard, and finally they did a CT scan. और उसके बाद they admitted me to the University of Alberta Hospital, and तब से लेकर I think it was June first week around.
Yeah.
जून से लेकर अगस्त तक I was in hospital, treated as a research patient, had endless biopsies, surgeries, tests, scans. I think you name it, I had it all. और उस वक्त तक हम इतना थक चुके थे, like we really needed a support. So my mom flew from India. She was here to take care of me too, because अंशुल के लिए काम पे जाना, मेरे लिए हॉस्पिटल आना, इट वाज टू मच फॉर अस. और हमें कोई आंसर्स नहीं मिल रहे थे, मेरी डायग्नोसिस नहीं मिल रहा था, बिकॉज एवरीथिंग वाज नेगेटिव, एंड माय बॉडी स्टार्टेड स्वेलिंग अप, और फीवर्स जा ही नहीं रहे थे. एंड फाइनली वी थॉट ऑफ गोइंग बैक टू इंडिया. जब हमें कोई आंसर्स नहीं मिल रहे थे, वी कंसल्टेड आवर फैमिली डॉक्टर. मेरे मामा डॉक्टर हैं, इसके मामा डॉक्टर थे, माय बुआ इज़ अ डॉक्टर. सो वी कंसल्टेड एवरीवन इन इंडिया, एंड एवरीवन सजेस्टेड कि ब्रिंग हर होम, बिकॉज ऑलरेडी 3 months होने जा रहे थे. तो उसके बाद सडनली वन ऑफ द डॉक्टर्स केम इन एंड शी सेड दैट वी नीड टू डू वन लास्ट बायोप्सी, विच इज़ अ स्किन बायोप्सी, स्किन पंच बायोप्सी. पहले तो आई वॉज नॉट रेडी फॉर इट, बिकॉज आई ऑलरेडी हैड सो मच टेस्ट एंड स्कैन्स एंड सर्जरीज कि मैं बिल्कुल थक चुकी थी. लाइक आई वॉज रियली टायर्ड ऑफ ऑल दोज थिंग्स. एंड देन फाइनली वी सेड ओके फाइन, दिस इज़ द लास्ट टेस्ट, हम करा लेते हैं, उसके बाद विल गो. दे डिड द टेस्ट, एंड August 27th आई थिंक हम अपने डिस्चार्ज पेपर्स वगैरह रेडी कर रहे थे टू लीव दी हॉस्पिटल, एंड ही वॉज विद द फैमिली डॉक्टर बिकॉज आई वॉज गेटिंग चिल्स एंड हाई फीवर्स. तो प्लान वॉज हाउ टू टेक मी बैक होम टू इंडिया. मैं कैसे 24 hours फ्लाइट चढ़ूंगी जब मेरे को इतना हाई फीवर और चिल्स आते हैं. Suddenly the doctors just rushed into the room. They got the diagnosis. He was not there. My mom was standing next to me. My brother was standing next to me. And she said, Harjeet, we would like you to stay back. And I was like, why? She's like, we got the diagnosis, and it looks like you have stage 4 subcutaneous paniculitis T-cell lymphoma. And I was like, what is that? Because I don't belong to a family who know anything about all those things. And I never had an experience with my family about cancer. So I was like, what is it? She's like, it's a rare type of blood cancer. And it's really serious, and we would like you to stay back and start the treatment ASAP. I saw my mom listening to those words. He was not there, and I felt numb completely. I was frozen. I felt like my life is just over now, listening to those words that you have stage 4 blood cancer. And I called him, and I told him that you need to come back. We got the diagnosis. I don't remember exactly what were the words I told him on phone, but I remember I didn't wanted to tell him exactly what has happened, and I wanted him to be there for me. So he rushed, and we took some time because we were not sure if the results are right or not, because until now, abhi tak to kuch pata hi nahi tha, and suddenly when I'm planning to go back, they came up with the results saying that I have stage 4. So we took some time. We asked them like how much time we have, and we wanted to consult our family back home. तो हमने कुछ 5 या 6 घंटे मांगे. उस वक्त दिन का टाइम था, 3 या 4 बजे. And we consulted our family doctors back home in India, and they saw the report and they said that I'm at the right place at the right time and I should start the treatment ASAP. Next day the treatment started, the chemo started, and honestly, मैं चुप थी. I had this fear in my mind that it's all over, but I just wanted to be a strong face in front of my family, in front of everyone, because I felt that if I melt down, they'll all melt down with me. And I was alone. When I was alone in hospital, when there was no one around, I used to cry. I used to feel like it's all over. I'm just 32, and I'm not coming back. So that time it was really difficult, and they were challenging times. And I started the chemo. The most difficult part was to tell my family back home. My dad, he was not here that time, and I think I completely kept quiet among my friends, and I just shut down from everywhere. I didn't want to talk to anyone. And Anshul and my mother, they took that step to talk to my extended family, my grandparents and my dad. And my dad, as soon as he got to know, he just flew to Canada. I think he was there before my second chemo. I was in hospital until my second chemo because I used to still get fevers. There were times that my chemo used to extend because I was getting fevers again and again, and fevers were not stopping. And I remember my oncologist came to me and he said that, I would like to explain you what kind of cancer you have. As I said, that I was never, in that zone where I knew what cancer is exactly and, how to deal with those stuff. So he explained us very clearly that you have this type of cancer, it's rare, and we are trying our best to treat you. And it's also complicated with a condition called HLH. It's an immune disease disorder. So we just listened to him and we trusted the process. I went for first chemo and then second chemo. And after second chemo, I started having those headaches because I had long hair. And I didn't want to cut off my hair, obviously because I belong to a Sikh family and my dad wear turbans and all. So it was difficult for us that time that I should get my head shaved. And I remember my oncologist came to us and he said, you need to shave your head.
That's it.
And we went home and he made me sit at the patio and he shaved my head. My dad couldn't see it, so he went inside and he shaved his head too.
Same time.
Just to support me, just to be there for me.
Yeah.
And it was not easy. And I remember every time I used to talk to my grandparents or anyone, my dad or my mom used to say, tie something to your hair and, cover your hair. At that time, I didn't understood a lot of things. But later in life, I did understand that, that was me. That, that has happened and everybody has to accept it, right? I started losing my hair. I started losing my eyebrows, eyelashes. I felt like my body was, just not at the right place that time. And that was more challenging for me. The chemo was not easy. I used to have a lot of side effects. And after a few chemos, I had a PET scan. And the doctor said that the chemo is not working. Like some of the cancer cells are responding to the chemo, but some are not. So we have to do something. And I remember his words. We went to see him and he said, Harjeet, what's your appetite? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, what's your appetite? I'm like, I want to live. And he's like, I give you two options. One is we can go on giving you chemo till the time your body takes it. Second is we can go for a stem cell transplant, which will give you a little life longer. And we went home. And as we all know, in our families, the decision is not made by you. It's made by a whole family, right?
Yeah.
I went home. I was in the room. I just closed my room and I felt it's all over. We are just trying our best to fix me, to fix, this life. But there's no coming back. But I trusted the process. I trusted my support system. I had amazing support. My mom, dad, husband, my brother. They used to cook for me. They used to take me to the hospital. They were there for me during the chemo treatment. So I had that support with me. But we never had a talk about cancer in our family. We never talked about my experience, his experience, what everybody was feeling that time. I think they were all scared. Sab dare hue the us waqt. So suddenly they all just came in and they said, we are going for a stem cell transplant. My family doctor said that that's important. We should go for a stem cell transplant. So we all agreed to it. And during that time, I was supposed to get more chemos. to get me into a partial remission. And December happened. I was home with my family, celebrating Christmas, celebrating New Year's. And there were times I used to still go to emergency rooms because I used to get high fevers. There were times I used to wait in the emergency room for 6-7 hours with high fevers. Jan 2020 came, and I started having a blurry vision on my right eye. And I told him that, there is a blurry vision and I can't see. I can't see from my right eye. It's like partial vision. And we rushed to the emergency and we waited for 7-8 hours for the ophthalmologist to come and see me, eye doctor. And he came and he saw and he said, it looks like that you have lymphoma in your right eye. And at that time, I was completely lost. I'm already preparing myself for a stem cell transplant, and now this thing again, like cancer in my eye. And they said that we need to do a biopsy and need to see if it's cancer or not. We waited there and they did the biopsy. We went home. 6 days or 7 days waiting period was painful for everyone because everybody has this thought of, maybe what if it's cancer again, right? Like I had cancer and I was getting treated, but another cancer in my right eye. So thankfully it was not cancer, but it was CMV retinitis, a virus, which can happen to any normal human being. But because my immune system was so compromised that I got that virus, but that virus was still active on my right eye, so they had to treat it. So I still remember I used to get injections on my right eye every week along with chemotherapy because they were preparing me for a stem cell transplant. And that whole period of Jan and Feb was challenging for every one of us because whole Feb I had chemo, injections, and it was not easy. And the chemo they gave me during that time was more painful because they wanted
and by this time COVID was also there.
And and in March we were supposed to get a stem cell transplant. I was supposed to get a stem cell transplant in Calgary. So the team in Edmonton decided that I have to go to Calgary for a stem cell transplant at Tom Baker. And I think in March, we came to Calgary and to meet the doctors, to meet the team. And we were sitting on a table and the team were just discussing how the stem cell transplant would be. And I still remember the words when my doctors mentioned that, it won't be easy and there might be a chance of 15 to 20% of death during this treatment. But we'll try our best because she's young. And my brother was my 100% match. So he was my stem cell donor. That was really, I think that was also rare to have a 100% match.
Yeah.
So all this happened in March. We went back to Edmonton and I started having some symptoms of flu. And suddenly COVID happened. 17th March 2020. Everything shut down and we were in Edmonton. We got a call from our hospital saying that Harjeet needs to come for a stem cell transplant, but no family member, no visitor, no one is allowed to see her. Because previously the plan was they will come to Calgary, stay with me, I'll be in hospital, they'll come and visit me and go. So Tom Baker has a stem cell transplant, an apartment for patients, I guess, patient's family, something like that. So the patient family can stay there and they can see the patient. So that was all planned previously. But COVID happened, so things changed. And I was told that I have to come all by myself. And because I had some flu symptoms, so it was extended for a week or 10 days. 6th of April, 2020, that was the time when I was admitted to Tom Baker. And I remember they all came to drop me. And I felt that I'm not coming back. I felt that that's the last time I'm hugging everyone. That's the last time I'm feeling the touch. And I went in and 6th April until first week of May, I think 2nd or 3rd May, I was in hospital by myself. I had to go through the stem cell transplant by myself. And I had no support, no family. And the stem cell transplant was really difficult for me. And I had to go through chemo every day and radiation for it was 7 days of nonstop chemo and radiation for 3 days. I started losing myself. I was in painkiller pumps. I was on opioids. I was in so much of pain that I couldn't do anything. The only hope which kept me alive was going back to my family and hugging them and, feeling that I'm there. And during that time, I wanted to write my journey. I started writing a small bits and pieces because I wanted to show them that how grateful I was for them, and I just wanted to make sure that they listened to my experience, they listened what they meant to me, and that's how the journey of starting my blog started. But I don't know how I made it, Preet. For those 35 days were really challenging. There were times that I used to just do FaceTime, and there were times that I was like completely in pain and I was like not in my senses, and they used to call and I was never used to pick up my call and something like that. Like it was really difficult days for all of us. I think he would tell you more about that, but I don't know how I made it through. I honestly don't know how and what kept me alive. And I went back home, and it took me 6 months to get out of the bed. I was completely weak. I lost so much of weight. I was almost 40 or 42 kilos. And I could not walk. I could not take shower. I could not change my clothes. I was like a small baby who was given a new life, a second life. So, I mean, from all that, I have learned that, I feel like there was something which kept me going. That was hope. That was faith and hope which kept me alive. And also the support of my family, that I wanted to go back to them. I wanted to go back to my husband. I wanted to go back to my mom. After that, they took a lot of care of me. I was like a small baby who need help, who need guidance along the way. And, they made it through. Like,
And
I
you
am here
also-
because of
Yeah.
all of them.
Ji.
I got this second life because of them, because of my brother. I mean, not everyone gets that chance. And I'm here because of all of them.
Right, Harjeet. And that's your hope and courage at the same time, along with your support system. Miss Anshul, you have been a big support system for her all through this journey, जो हमारे साथ हरजीत ने शेयर की है. जैसे होता है ना कि कोई कुछ खिताब हासिल कर ले तो उसकी फैमिली उसके लिए तालियां बजाने के लिए इर्द गिर्द रहती है. एंड देयर द वंस जो कि ऑडियंस में बैठे हुए भी बेहद खुश हो रहे होते हैं, जबकि जिसको प्राइज़ मिल रहा होता है वो हैरान हो रहे होते हैं. यहाँ पर जो सिचुएशन थी उसमें उदासी थी. यहाँ पर उस वक्त जो अप्रिसिएशन और सपोर्ट जो चाहिए थी वो आपको भी उदास कर रही थी, लेकिन फिर भी आपको उसके साथ रहना था. पहले तो हाउ वर यू फीलिंग एंड हाउ डिड इट गो फॉर यू?
It wasn't a easy journey, to be very true. कोई नहीं चाहेगा कि आपकी फैमिली में आपके लव्ड वन को किसी को भी कैंसर हो या कैंसर जैसी कोई डायग्नोसिस मिले. इट्स नॉट अ इजी थिंग टू गो थ्रू. ये हमारे साथ भी लाइक मेरी फैमिली या फ्रेंड सर्कल में भी ये पहला केस था कि किसी को कैंसर डायग्नोसिस हुआ. तो वी डिड नॉट नो मच अबाउट इट. वी डिड नॉट नो व्हाट वुड इट लुक लाइक, व्हाट वुड बी द ट्रीटमेंट, आगे के महीने कैसे आएंगे, ये कितना बुरा है, कितना स्ट्रेंज कैंसर है, इजी टू फिक्स और नॉट, ये सब इसके बारे में हमें कुछ भी कोई भी आइडिया नहीं था. तो जैसे जैसे डॉक्टर से हमें ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट से पता लग रहा था, वी वर सो न्यू टू इट. हमने बैक होम इंडिया में अपने फैमिली डॉक्टर से भी बात की, उनको रिपोर्ट्स भी दिखाई. तो उन्होंने बोला कि रिपोर्ट बहुत क्लियर है दैट येस इट इज़, तो आपको यहाँ इंडिया वापस नहीं आना चाहिए, आप वहीं पे ट्रीटमेंट कराओ और जल्दी कराओ, क्योंकि ये सीधा स्टेज 4 था. क्योंकि यहाँ पे 3 महीने लग गए थे डायग्नोसिस करने में या पता लगाने में कि हरजीत के साथ एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रही है. तो वी वेंट अहेड एंड वी सेड यस टू द ट्रीटमेंट. तो इजी नहीं था क्योंकि ये पहले से ही 3 महीने से बहुत ज़्यादा ऑलरेडी सिक थी. सो दे सेड कि हमें जल्दी से जल्दी कीमो शुरू करनी है. एंड सो वी जस्ट वेंट विद द फ्लो इन द होप कि ओके ट्रीटमेंट चालू होगा, विल सी दैट शी इज़ गेटिंग बेटर. तो कीमोस चालू हुई एंड ये थोड़ा थोड़ा इम्प्रूवमेंट दिखना शुरू हुई, नॉट मच. फीवर्स फिर भी आते थे, एज हरजीत टोल्ड अर्लियर 2 कीमोस तक हम हॉस्पिटल में थे, उसके बाद उन्होंने हमें घर भेज दिया एंड हमें हर 3 हफ्ते में एक बार हरजीत को कीमो के लिए हॉस्पिटल ले जाना होता था और बीच में हमें बहुत ख्याल रखना पड़ता था कि अगर इसको कोई फीवर आ रहा है तो रश टू द इमरजेंसी, बिकॉज शी वॉज इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज। तो कोई भी इन्फेक्शन की वजह से अगर फीवर आता है, इन्फेक्शन अगर ब्लड में चला जाएगा तो उससे और ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है। तो जब भी फीवर्स आते थे हम वी यूज टू रश हर, गेट हर टेस्टिंग डन एंड कभी कभार शी यूज टू गेट इवन एडमिटेड टू द हॉस्पिटल। तो ये सब देखते देखते we went on until our stem cell transplant. But during all this process, easy तो बिल्कुल नहीं था। हरजीत was in pains, नींद नहीं आती थी, फीवर्स भी आते थे, कभी कभी चिल्स भी आते थे। she was unable to eat much, throwing up जैसा फील होता था। So it wasn't easy for me, for her mom and dad and brother who were here with us to support and help her. But one thing which I saw कि ये हिम्मत पूरी रखती थी कि इसको ठीक होना है, she needs to get better and she needs her life back. तो इसको ही देखते देखते I used to get my strength that if she can, I can.
अगर वो बीमार होते हुए इतनी हिम्मत दिखा रही है तो मुझे तो हिम्मत जुटानी पड़ेगी।
हाँ जी।
कहीं ऐसा लगा उम्मीद मेरी खो ना जाए कहीं?
तो बस एज अ फैमिली हम सब ने अपनी पूरी हिम्मत रखी कि यस शी विल फाइट इट, शी विल गेट बेटर एंड शी विल स्टे विद अस। तो हमने फिर कीमोस के बाद हमें बताया गया कि ऑप्शंस हैं, या आप कीमोस लेते रहिए एंड यू नो आपको स्टेम सेल ट्रांसप्लांट के लिए जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, बट देन जो एक लॉन्गर लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी है वो फिर कम हो जाएगी। बट इफ़ वी go for a stem cell transplant, she might be able to live a longer life. Given the circumstances, given her age, she was 32 at that time. तो हमने सबने मिलके यही डिसाइड किया कि yes, why not a longer life expectancy, even though the stem cell carried a 15 to 20% death risk chance. But given her age, given her life ahead, we took that risk and we went for it, and here she is, who fought cancer, who won the battle, and she's sitting with us talking to everyone today.
That's right. Harjeet, having a big support system, and I congratulate and I thank God at the same time that you had your people around. When we talk about cancer, अपनी सोसाइटी, अपनी कम्युनिटी में लोग जो हैं इसके बारे में बात नहीं करना चाहते। ऐसे समझते हैं कि इधर नाम भी ना लो, पर दैट डज नॉट स्टॉप द कैंसर फ्रॉम स्प्रेडिंग। अगर किसी फैमिली किसी मेंबर को हो जाता है, इट इज़ अ हेल्थ कंडीशन। क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप?
So basically, in our community, a lot of people think that cancer is a death sentence. So that's why they don't want to talk about it, and no one wants anyone around their family to have cancer because it's a death sentence, right? But it's wrong, right? It's not a death sentence. I am a living proof in front of everyone that, you know, I survived the battle. I was stage 4, and when people talk about stage 4, they always see, okay, stage 4, she or he might not survive, right? But I'm here, right? And I think it's really important to destigmatize this taboo around our community because it's not right. You are actually saying a person that he or she's been diagnosed with cancer is a problem. Then how would that person survive or, you know, fight the battle, thinking that he or she is a burden on their family, right? And not talking is not a solution.
That's
right. And I think it's really important to talk when a person is diagnosed with cancer and give that support to them, whether it's like, you know, just taking them for, you know, a trip to hospital for their, you know, treatments, or provide them food, or do something for them, right? It's really important because I feel I had that support system, but not everyone had that, right? I have seen people coming to hospital for their chemotherapy. They are driving to their chemotherapies, they are getting the treatment done, and they are sitting alone, getting the chemo and then heading back home. But for me, because I had every time someone with me, that was easy journey for me, right? Everybody was there to cook for me, to take care of me, to make sure that I'm taking my medications on time. So I think when someone is diagnosed with cancer, it's really important to provide that support or help. No one needs to fight this battle alone. And if you can't find that support within your community, there are organizations outside who are providing help, who are there to talk to you. And you will look for those people.
Right.
Like when I was diagnosed, because I was young, I was just 32. I was thrown into early menopause. I lost my fertility. I lost my vision. I did lost my hearing, 35%. And because I had the support, but we didn't had that talk about my journey, something was missing. And that's how I started writing my blog, because I wanted to express my feelings. And I connected with endless number of organizations.
So उस वक्त ये कि ठीक हो जाना है, फैमिली प्रे कर रही है,
हाँ,
पर
कि they
उसके
were
बारे में
praying,
बात नहीं हो रही कि what
थी.
everyone is
The
going
support
through.
was commendable, but no communication.
हाँ.
Like even we never had that talk about it, or my family didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
It was just this thing one time, like बस ठीक हो जाए. बस you know.
अंशुल से पूछना जरूर चाहेंगे यहाँ पर कि वो बातचीत नहीं होना उस दौरान, ये सोचकर कि कहीं किसी के दिल को ना लग जाए, कोई ठेस ना पहुंचा दे, कि कहीं ना कहीं हम सबको पता है कि सब ठीक हो जाने वाला है, या अगर उम्मीद नहीं भी है तो क्यों कहना है?
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उस दौरान टाइम कुछ ऐसा था कि हम सब इतनी परेशानी में थे, और ये सब इतने महीनों में क्या कुछ हो गया, आपकी लाइफ एकदम से बदल गई. आपको ये नहीं पता कि आगे वाले दिन आपको क्या दिखाने वाले हैं, आप और आपकी फैमिली और जिसके ऊपर ये बीत रही है, वो बस यही सोच रहे हैं कि बस कैसे भी करके हमारा लव्ड वन बस ठीक हो जाए. तो आई थिंक उस दौरान ये टाइम ऐसा आया ही नहीं कि मतलब मन में कि इस बारे में बातें की जाएं, क्योंकि सबके माइंड पे बस एक ही चीज़ है कि हमारा लव्ड वन ठीक हो जाए और बेटर हो जाए. बट मुझे अब ऐसा लगता है कि एटलीस्ट जिसके साथ ये हो रहा था, हमारे केस में हरजीत के साथ, तो हमें फिर भी बात करनी चाहिए थी, जस्ट टू सी कि उसके माइंड में क्या चल रहा है, यू नो, कहीं अंदर से वो अलोन तो नहीं फील कर रही, या अपनी फीलिंग्स को शेयर नहीं कर पा रही है अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ, अपने हस्बैंड के साथ. तो मुझे कुछ ऐसा लगता है कि अगर ऐसे इस दौरान से कोई गुजर रहा हो, तो आपको एज अ फैमिली मेम्बर, एज अ फ्रेंड बात करनी चाहिए, टू मेक देम फील लिटिल बेटर, और टू नो कि क्या चल रहा है, किसी भी तरीके से उनकी हेल्प कर पाओ, उनका हौसला बढ़ा पाओ, यू नो, हेल्प इन एनी सॉर्ट would be great to patients going through cancer or any similar disease or diagnosis.
जी हरजीत, ये है कि जब भी कोई बीमार होता है और इतनी इलनेस में गुजर रहा है, तभी वो शख्स जो है वो अंदर से कहीं ना कहीं टूटते हैं, और इरिटेशन बहुत होती है. कई बार नहीं दिल करता है बात करने का, जैसे अंशुल बता रहे थे कि पूछ लेना चाहिए, कई बारी मिनने ना कोई गाल ना करो, दूर हो जाओ सारे जने, ऐसी भी सिचुएशंस बन जाती थी.
कई बार आई थी. There were times कि when I didn't want to talk to anyone, I used to shut down the door and used to be myself. And I think because अंदर ही अंदर मेरे मन में वो डर तो था कि you know I might lose this. But I had this strong face in front of them just to make sure that everybody around me is okay. But वो irritation, वो frustration आती थी, बहुत बार आती थी. I think he can tell you better. But हाँ, वो रहती है, क्योंकि एक तो आपको डर लगता है कि आप क्या पता ये बैटल जीत ही ना पाओ. आपकी लाइफ 32 में ही ओवर हो गई है, और आपने अभी लाइफ में कुछ नहीं किया और ख़त्म हो गई. और कई बार ऐसे मन में आता है कि ऐसा क्या किया मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी में कि मुझे कैंसर हुआ, राइट? ये क्वेश्चन हर बार मेरे माइंड में आता था. एंड वी आस्क्ड आवर ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट टू कि यू नो is there something we did wrong? And I remember he said, I don't exactly remember the words he said, but he said ki this is nothing you did wrong in your life, it's just
so what he said was the oncologist said like there's nothing that you have done wrong that this happened to you, this could have even happened to anyone. तो इस प्रकार के कैंसर का कोई रीज़न नहीं था कि इसने कुछ अपनी हेल्थ का ध्यान नहीं रखा कि ऐसा हुआ Harjeet ke saath. It could have happened to anyone, whether old, young, or any
Yeah.
age, you know.
एंड आई नेवर हैड अ फैमिली हिस्ट्री सो मतलब ये क्वेश्चन और ये फ्रस्ट्रेशन हमेशा से ही माइंड में थी और आज भी कई बार ऐसा टाइम आता है कि व्हेन आई गेट इरिटेटेड बिकॉज आई फील लाइक आई एम नॉट द सेम पर्सन व्हाट आई वाज बिफोर and I have to accept that this is my new normal, right? And I have been taking therapy for last 3.5 years, and it has really helped me in making me better.
Expression
Like
Yeah.
I discuss everything with my psychosocial and therapist, and he makes sure that he understands what I am thinking, and he always tell me like this is very normal for a young cancer patient to feel, right? Because our life has changed completely. We're not the same person as we were before cancer, right? So yeah, it's hard, and that frustration is okay to have. There are good days and bad days in my life. So
हुन रहते हुए फीमेल की बॉडी, नो डाउट मेल को अगर हो तो वो अलग तरीके से प्रभावित होगी, लेकिन फीमेल की बॉडी में क्योंकि वी गो थ्रू डिफरेंट फेजेस, पीरियड्स हैं, मेनोपॉज अर्ली आ जाना, ऐसे ट्रीटमेंट से गुजरते हुए फर्टिलिटी के इश्यूज आ जाने, आपके लिए वो भी एक चिंता थी?
it was very challenging because जब मेरे को diagnose हुआ और I started the treatment, I never had any question about it. But within a period of time, I didn't had my periods, and I was like shocked कि क्यों? And then I think asked my oncologist, and he said I might have been into early menopause, and then they actually referred me to a fertility specialist, and we went to see her. She did my test, and she mentioned that I've been thrown into early menopause because of my treatments, and because I'm going to more aggressive transplant treatment, I might not be getting my periods back, and there might be a chance that I'll be into menopause and I'll lose my fertility. So during that period I never grieve about these things, but with period of time, जैसे recovery हो रही थी, I started feeling that I used to get hot flashes, I used to get angry all the time, and now I am on systematic hormone therapy treatment, which is like every week I have to put a patch, and because of early age and early menopause, there are a lot of side effects to it, which I was not aware about until now. So, and not a lot of people talk about it because they are going through the difficult time of their life. When someone has told you that you have cancer, you need to treat that, before thinking of, because I didn't had much of time to freeze my eggs to do something about it. But I feel it's really important to the other person, if she is diagnosed with cancer, she should have these questions ready to her oncologist about her fertility and menopause, because it's really important. Like with time, I now got to know, what are the side effects and symptoms, but during that time I had no idea. So I had to with this every time. I have a menopause specialist who tests me every time and make sure that everything is fine. And there are side effects to early menopause too, that I have been told that I might be in future time I might get uterus cancer or ovarian cancer because of the early menopause at this age, and there are chances of secondary cancer. So it's really important to know about menopause situation too, and it's also important to talk about it.
हरजीत, आप कैनेडियन कैंसर सोसाइटी या और कैंसर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो अपने कनाडा में हैं, उनके प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ज़रिए, या मैंने इंडिया के बहुत सारे ऐसे पेजेस देखे हैं जिन्होंने आपकी स्टोरी को, आपकी करेज को भी अलॉन्ग विद अंशुल हाईलाइट किया है. ये एडवोकेसी और ये हिम्मत जो है वो आप जुटा पाई हैं. रियली अप्रिशिएट एंड मे गॉड ब्लेस बोथ ऑफ यू. क्या कहना चाहेंगी आप?
See, the advocacy started almost one and a half year ago because I really wanted to raise awareness about cancer and its diagnosis, not within the Canadian, cancer community, but also within the Indian cancer community, because not a lot of people talk about it, and there are so many things to talk when it comes to cancer, right? One is menopause, one is early detection and prevention. Not a lot of people talk about palliative care in our community because people are scared to talk about palliative care. So through Canadian Cancer Society was my first platform where I opened about my journey, and through them I collaborated with other organizations too, especially in India too. When I was back home in India, I was researching and seeing where I can raise my voice and be the voice for other patients even in India. And it has given me that courage to, you know, be out and be the voice for other patients, because not a lot of people talk about it. And sometimes when I get DMs saying that, you know, you give us hope, you know, your story motivates her, that there is life after cancer. So I am changing that line that, you know, cancer is not a death sentence. I am a living person in front of you, and I am living my life. I am grateful for this second life. And according to this advocacy thing, I also realized that there's not lot of South Asian communities out there who are, you know, especially talking about cancer. You know, I have never seen someone with my color who is out there and talking about his or her cancer story or sharing her experience. So that's how, you know, when I've been vocal about it, I have been invited to a couple of events where I talk about the stigmatization in our community. And from there, I realized I started a page called Chai and Hope. With another friend who is a South Asian too. And we started this page just 6 months back. It's on Facebook. It's a private page on Facebook for those people who just want to be private and don't want to like be there. And it's also on Instagram called Chai and Hope. And we are looking for people, South Asian people, to come and talk to us. And we would like to share their stories on our platform, because we want people to see that there are support groups out there. We are together in this journey. You know, no one has to face this alone.
Yes.
And that group is open for everyone: family, support, caregivers, cancer patients, and survivors. So, yeah.
All right. I am really grateful to both of you कि आप दोनों आज प्रोग्राम में शामिल होकर इस स्टोरी को शेयर कर पाए हैं, और वही उम्मीद की करें जो आपके पास है, आपके अंदर है, वो दूसरों के साथ शेयर कर पाए हैं और शाइन कर पाए हैं. एंड आई हैव रिसीव फ्यू मैसेजेस एज वेल. मैं अपने लिसनर्स ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਨੀ ਆ ਕਿ HK_Thriver ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੇਜ ਹੈ ਔਨ ਇੰਸਟਾਗ੍ਰਾਮ. ਐਂਡ ਚਾਈ ਐਂਡ ਹੋਪ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਹਰਜੀਤ ਹੋਣਾ ਨੇ ਮੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਨੈਕਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ. ਔਰ ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਪਰਸਨ ਹੈ who is going through treatments or a survivor or family member of a survivor, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਐਜ਼ ਅੰਸ਼ੁਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤਾ. So you can also connect on that group. With this, I just say thank you and God bless to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gurpreet. Thank
Thank
you.
you.